Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville has finally released his hold of over 400 military promotions, and Democrats had a closing message for him on the Senate floor. I have a couple of moments here that I want to show you of Democrats giving Tommy Tuberville a piece of their mind. Rightfully so. And I'll note that they're all in the same room. So it's a little awkward. They're saying this stuff right to Tommy Tuberville's face. Before getting into that, let me break down the context for you. So before just recently, when he finally released his hold, Tommy Tuberville had been holding up over 400 military promotions, meaning people weren't able to assume roles that they should be in. And he was doing this as a protest of the Department of Defense's policy on abortion, making sure that service members in certain states with strict abortion laws aren't punished for being in that state compared to their blue state counterparts when seeking an abortion. Everyone in the military obviously should have access to the same health care, and that necessitates in this current situation giving time off and covering travel expenses for those individuals. To add some context to this, I'll read a quote from Brigadier General Pat Ryder, who is a Pentagon spokesperson, who said, "The practical effect," and this is talking about after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, "of the recent changes is that service members may be forced to travel greater distances, take more time off work, and pay more out-of-pocket expenses to access reproductive health care, all of which have readiness, recruiting, and retention implications for America's armed forces." So because of Tommy Tuberville's personal view on abortion, and I guess his ambition likely to get attention among the right-wing base and get on Fox News, he took a pretty unprecedented action and refused to approve all these promotions, which usually the Senate is able to do really seamlessly and does it on a unanimous vote, and that's required. That's why he was able to hold up these promotions. And he said he was going to do this until the Department of Defense changed their policy on the issue, which we've looked at in the past, a clip of even Lindsey Graham saying if every senator held up the process of confirming military nominees every time they had a policy difference with the DOJ, that would be mayhem, and it would hurt our military time and time again. With that being said, last night the Senate was able to unanimously confirm hundreds of nominees because he released his hold, except for on 4-star generals for some reason. So after 10 months of Tuberville hurting our military readiness and achieving absolutely nothing, here was Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren's final thoughts on all of that.
Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Senator from Massachusetts.
Mr. President, I've stood here as I've listened to Senator Tuberville say that the world is a more dangerous place. He's spoken about how we have weakened our military. Senator Tuberville is right on that. And one of the principal reasons is because of Senator Tuberville's own actions. He has held up hundreds of military nominations, hundreds of our military leaders who have not made it to the posts they were assigned to. It is clear that it was a grave mistake for one senator to hold our military promotion system hostage over his personal disagreement with the Department of Defense policy. We need our commanders in the Pacific to deter China and our service vice chiefs to lead the military. I am relieved that he has released most of his holds, but he continues to weaken our military readiness and undermine both recruiting and retention. The Senate should not go home for the holidays until we confirm the remaining nominees. This senator has held up nominations for nearly a year. It undermines our national defense, and it is unfair to our military and to our military families.
And well said there by Elizabeth Warren. And she noted this, as I previously did, he's still holding 4-star generals up and wants individual votes on those. So we'll see how that progresses. Still more work to be done. And before getting to another Democratic senator's remarks, it also has to be pointed out that this is yet another example of these Republican quote unquote principles just falling apart. How long have we watched the Republican Party try to brand itself as the only truly pro-military and pro-the-troops party? But then the second a Republican senator has an issue with a DOD policy, he's willing to severely damage our military as he throws a temper tantrum. And then he goes around in all these different interviews and is disparaging the military, saying it's become too weak and woke and all this different stuff. We've looked at those clips in the past. It's just ridiculous and a contradiction of the very principles people like him purport to stand for. With that being said, here is what Amy Klobuchar had to say to the face of Tommy Tuberville.
Let me just end this moment by quoting him from the hallways yesterday from a reporter. He was asked about this, and he said, "I'd have loved to have 5 downs in football instead of 4. But you can't do it. It's got to be fair for everybody." Asked if he has regrets. It was pretty much a draw. I mean, they didn't get what they wanted. Really? Who is the they? I guess the they is the military members, the service members who serve our country. And my last message on this front is that this is not a game, Senator Tuberville. This is not a game. This is not a football game. These are real people's lives and the security of our country. And I'm pleased that we've gotten through these 425 nominees, but there are clearly more to go.
Also good stuff there from Amy Klobuchar. She's correct in saying it's not a game. Not just because our military readiness is being hindered, but also because the lives of these military members are being harmed. They are in a state of limbo. Some people working multiple positions because their deputies can't be confirmed. A disaster. And she referenced a quote from Tommy Tuberville. Here's the moment that she was referring to.
That you didn't achieve exactly what you set out to do, that the policy is still in place.
It was pretty much a draw. I mean, they didn't get what they wanted, we didn't get what we wanted, and just when they change the rules, it's hard to win. And so they changed the NDAA rules. We didn't get to fight for it to leave it in the Senate, and so just unfortunate the American people didn't get a voice.
Do you mind just stating what you said off camera real quick, just what's happened? What
just happened?
Yeah, just like a...
Well, I'm releasing everybody. I still got a hold on, I think, 11 four-star generals. Everybody else is completely released from me. Now, somebody else might, I think there's a few other people got holds on 1 or 2 or 3 people. But other than that, it's over. Thank you.
It's over. And for what? He says they didn't get what they wanted and we didn't get what we wanted. What is it that Democrats or everyone other than Tuberville wanted, other than to do the best thing for these military members and for our national security? All around a very aggravating individual, Tommy Tuberville. And I think what changed his mind is, number one, seeing that the DOD was not going to budge. And number two, watching even members, I mentioned Lindsey Graham earlier, members of his own party getting super upset with him. I did a past segment on multiple Republican senators going on tirades against Tommy Tuberville over his hold. So maybe that moved the needle as well. And I do want to show you another clip, one that I've played in the past, but it's just really good. John Kirby, the coordinator for strategic communications at the National Security Council, got asked the question a while back during this hold of, why doesn't the DOD budge? Why doesn't the DOD just change the policy to start moving these confirmations through? And John Kirby perfectly responded.
With his holds on military promotions because of social policy and saying that he is harming military readiness. On the flip side of that impasse, and this is something that Republican lawmakers have raised, why is the new DOD policy on abortion critical to military readiness?
I'm really glad you asked that question. No, I mean, I really am. 1 in 5 members of the U.S. military are women, 20%. We're an all-volunteer force. Nobody's forcing you to sign up and go. People volunteer to go. You raise your right hand and you say, I'm gonna do this for a few years or even for my life. And it might cost me my life to do it. And when you sign up and you make that contract, you have every right to expect that the organization, in this case the military, is going to take care of you, and they're going to take care of your families. And they're going to make sure that you can serve with dignity and respect, no matter who you are, or who you love, or how you worship or don't. And our policies, whether they're diversity, inclusion, and equity, or whether they're about transgender individuals who qualify physically and mentally to serve, to be able to do it with dignity, or whether it's about female service members, 1 in 5, or female family members being able to count on the kinds of health care and reproductive care specifically that they need to serve. That is a foundational, sacred obligation of military leaders across the river. I've seen it myself, and it matters because it says we're invested in you because you are being willing to invest in us. You're investing your life, your family's livelihood with us. We owe you that back in return. I had a chance a couple of weeks ago to meet with some military spouses here at the White House. Some were active duty members, some were spouses, all were women. And 201, they told me, that abortion laws in this country that are now being passed are absolutely having an effect on their willingness to continue serving in uniform or to encourage or discourage, in this case, their spouses from continuing service. So if you don't think there's going to be a retention and a morale issue, think again, because it's already having that effect.
And he's absolutely correct on everything he said there. So there it is. After 10 months, Tommy Tuberville has released his hold on almost all of the military promotions, accomplished absolutely nothing, hurt morale, hurt the military, and probably, unfortunately, his voters won't care. Before we go, don't forget to become a member at lukebeasley.com/membership to get the daily bonus show Monday through Friday. You like this? You want more of it? Go get it there, lukebeasley.com/membership. Plus, you can follow me on Threads at Luke Beasley Official, Instagram at Luke Beasley Official, X at Luke P. Beasley, and sign up for the Beasley Brief, a daily morning newsletter that summarizes the previous day's events by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/brief. And I'll talk to you all next time.